Guys, welcome back to Tall and Taller. It is another beautiful football season is upon us. It is game day for the Michigan Wolverines to take on the East Carolina God, why not Carolina Panthers? The East Carolina Pirates. That P and P man is going to get me confused. Same thing with East and Eastern. I want to say the Eastern Carolina Pirates. But guys, we take on them today. Um, not should be an easy game, but I think the first quarter it could be a little bit of a dogfight. Um, East Carolina is not a pushover team. East Carolina's not a pushover small body team, small team. They had a good season last year. They finished 8-5. They won the Birmingham Bowl against Coastal Carolina. They had some good wins. Some good wins against teams like Memphis. Um, they competed with North Carolina State to start the season last year, 21-20. But they lost that game. Let's see, they beat UCF. They played a good game with Cincinnati, beat Temple, but then beat Coastal Carolina in the Birmingham Bowl. But like I said, they finished 8-5. They were 4-4 in the conference for them, but they aren't a pushover as per se. I don't know. Uh, per se, what some of the SEC teams are playing today. Um, is it's not going to be as bad. At least it's not FCS. That's all I'm going to say. Um, guys, I mean, there's a few good keys this game. Michigan's going to be favored by 36, I believe. Um, so let me look here before we get to. Let me look here versus East Carolina. All right, so getting to this, guys, we're looking at a 36-point spread. Michigan's favored by 36 and over under 53 odds by Caesar Sportsbook. Um, we're looking at a beautiful day for football, guys, in Ann Arbor. 76 degrees. 76 degrees, partly cloudy. That's football weather on the first day of Michigan football. Guys, I mean, I don't think anyone can be any more excited. I couldn't be any more excited unless I was going to the game. Um, it's gonna be it should be a fun game. I mean, you're looking at teams, a Michigan team who's coming off of a good season, a very good season, 13-1. Lost to TCU in the semifinals. A heartbreaking loss for a lot of us. I do know, um, but coming off a good season, they got something to prove. Blake Corum came back for a reason. Players like Mike Barrett came back for a reason. Mike Sainristil came back for a reason. They don't want to have any doubt in their minds that they didn't give it their all. That they didn't get the shot they thought they should get to try to win a natty, and this is their year to do it. Michigan sitting at can go 15-0 and win a natty. I wholeheartedly believe that this is one of our best football teams Michigan football may ever have or had. But you got to show it on the field. That's going to be the main thing. Main thing to see here today is you're starting today. You go out there. You have to play Michigan football. You don't do what they want you to do. You don't get sucked into what they want you to do. You guys play your football game. I mean, that's it. But guys, I'm happy. Before we get into it, I'm happy. Let me just say, I know I've said it. Feels good to be back in the jersey. Feels good to be back in the hat. Feels good to be back here talking to y'all about a game day. Um, I cannot wait and cannot, man. I know at noon today in about roughly 2 hours, it's going to be a good day. It's going to be all right again. Guys, we're going to move on. I'll go to keys of the game. Keys of the game, offensive side of the ball today is, guys, we all know where our weaknesses may stand this season. I don't know. I have not seen, but off of recent seasons. We're going to go off that. Wide receivers, if you still need work, use today and honestly the next 3 games to get that work in, to get better. Because you can make mistakes against teams like this. You can't make mistakes even when you get to Nebraska in week 5 at Nebraska. You cannot make mistakes there. Matt Rhule ain't going to allow that. You can't make mistakes once you get to Michigan State, Penn State, any Big Ten team at that. But especially those bigger teams, they're going to make you pay. And you're going to pay hard. More than likely with an L. So wide receivers, work on what you need to work on. We've seen you blow up towards the end of the year last year in the Ohio State TCU game, even the Purdue game. We need to see that consistently. That's something we have not seen in a very long time. It's a consistent receiving core. And I want, like we talked about last week, like Ben said, yes, we need that deep threat jump ball receiver like Braylon, like a Nico Callan, someone who's big, someone go up. And I mean, that explosive receiver like that. There's talent there to do it. There's plenty of talent to do it. We just need to see it. We've seen spurts of it last season. We need to see it for a whole season. Because if we have an offensive passing game, even a quarter, even half the percentage of what it was, guys, we will damn near be unstoppable. Move on to the next one. Guys, another key here is JJ did pretty much, it's kind of a question, not a question. Did JJ McCarty's deep ball get more accurate? Yes, at that same thing with the receivers. You've seen it towards the end of the season where it was a lot more accurate. He was hitting the receivers in stride. He wasn't overthrowing them. He wasn't underthrowing them. He was throwing beautiful footballs. Again, can that be more consistent? Consistency is key to life, guys. It's what we look at, it's what we do in life. As long as you stay consistent, you will succeed. And that is where JJ and the receivers need to work. Is you need to have them be more consistent. If they are, Michigan football wins, no doubt, goes on to win an Natty this season. But we have to see that first. We have to see that consistency. And yes, it starts today with East Carolina. East Carolina, it starts today in the Big House at noon Eastern time. Consistency starts then. We need to see it. And some changes on the O-line. I feel like here will be fine, but it's the third and final key. O-line stays as good as it has been the past 2 seasons. We have pretty much the same offensive line. I know we lost 2 people, but we also had some good players come in to replace that, like Drake Nugent and Miles Hinton, players like that. But who we see out there, not sure and how it's going to line up. We are yet to see what this, if they're going to mesh as last year's offensive line and the year before that offensive line meshed. I have no doubt in my mind that it'll be fine. That's just something we need to see and see that it's there. I want Blake Corum, I want Donovan Edwards to run for 1,000 yards apiece this season and have 2 Heisman people up there in New York. Because God knows Blake Corum got robbed last season. Guys, the offensive side of the ball is where our problems pretty much have came from for the past few years. I mean, going back to last season against TCU, we run a stupid, also on a play call, we run a dumb fake on the 1 yard line for some reason. JJ throws 2 picks. We end up fumbling the ball on the half-yard line. Because the offense is what's killed us in big time situations. Not the defense, really. The Georgia game 2 years ago, yeah, but Georgia's a juggernaut at that point. No one was beating them. So you can't ride on that. You can't sit on that. Guys, we're going to have to do what we've done in the past. And all 3 of those points, those keys, are all 3 of the biggest things that need to happen this season for us to have a very successful season. and go on to winning a third Big Ten championship in a row, beating Ohio State for the third time, going to the playoffs for a third time, and hopefully winning and going to the Natty and winning it for the first time since 1997. Michigan can put another ring on their fingers that says national champions. Um, but yeah, we'll see how the offense side of the ball goes. I'm gonna move on now to the defensive side. I don't think the defensive side is even close to as worrisome. I mean, secondary is kind of the only question, as we talked about. Will Johnson was the lock. Um, and then, I mean, the secondary is going to have to be tested. It's going to get tested today, especially when if Michigan gets up and ECU decides, all right, we're just going to throw the ball, throw the ball, throw the ball. You're going to get tested. They're going to test you. They're going to see, hey, is this defensive secondary legit or not? So come ready to play and be ready for them to throw the football. And defensive line, the defensive line is gonna have to be on the same level as it's been. I mean, last year we were defensively 37 sacks or something like that, which I think was 10th nationally. Hang on one second. Defensive line, that's what I was talking about. Yeah, I mean, you're gonna have to see people like Chris Jenkins, Jalen Harrell, players up there up front, Mason Graham, Kenneth Grant, people that who've been here now a year or two, if not 4 years. They know what to do. They know what to expect from a college game. I mean, last year Mason Graham, I think Mason Graham's going to be an absolute monster in the defensive tackle position. Um, and I think your biggest outside threat. Um, no, I'm going to save that because I'll save that for in a minute. So I think all in all, the defensive side of the ball is very well rounded. We talked about it last week. I don't have a lot of keys for them. The keys is just to play defense and be sound your gaps and play. And the secondary just needs to do its thing. We'll be fine. Michigan football defense has never worried me. Um, because we're good outside of the Ohio State game in 2018, 2019. We were a good team. We were a good defensive team. Just got exposed, as Jim Knowles knows now. Um, can't play man-to-man offense. Their defense against high-profile teams, you're going to get burned. Um, but yeah, give me 1 second here. So I'm going to go into my prediction of today's game and a little bit of a locker room talk here, guys. So Michigan football is what? This is team 144. All right, guys, team 144 is going to have to come out. They think they're the best. They say they're the best. Well, I guess not 100% say, but they say they're the best. They think they're the best. They think that they can be the best. They're going to have to come out starting today versus ECU and prove it. No one, I don't care what they say. You might be ranked number 2 in the nation now, might be ranked of Ohio State for the first time in 10 years. It doesn't matter. All that is talk. All that is writing on paper. You have to cash that check. Go prove to the United States, to the world, that Michigan football is the best, the leaders in the best, that nobody's got it better than us. We got to prove it, though. And it starts today, ECU versus Michigan in the Big House at noon Eastern time. Guys, Michigan football is going to have to play. On offensively, we need the wide receivers, Cornelius Johnson, Roman Wilson, whoever else is out there that they put out there, whether it's the freshman, are going to have to use their speed, their athleticism, and show us that we can burn East Carolina players. And then every week show we can burn and we can do this, we can do that against a better team every week, guys. You got to do that. Offensive line, hold your blocks, keep going hard. You know your running backs are going to make plays. Just help them out as much as possible. Keep them healthy. Keep them where you would want to be kept in a healthy, good position. Defensively, guys, secondary, you have to come ready to play. Will Johnson, get that secondary ready. Get that secondary pumped up, ready to play some football. Um, Defensive line, get to the quarterback. Let's see some more sacks this season. Let's see 40 plus sacks, if not 50 plus sacks as a defensive guys. Let's come play Michigan football and win this game. Guys, I got the final scores of 45-3 game. Michigan wins it easily. I know Ben sent me his prediction, and his prediction is going to be 52-10. He's got another touchdown plus for each team than I did. Guys, it is the best time of year. Michigan football's back. I cannot wait. It's going to be a big season. You got some big players on that line, on that defensive line. I think going to have a great time. I'm going to go that real quick, guys. Players to watch this season on the offensive side of the ball. On the offensive side of the ball, I gotta go with Colston Loveland, man. Colston Loveland, I think, is going to be an absolute monster. As Ben mentioned last week's podcast, Jake Butt says he could be one of the best tight ends of all time, and Jake Butt is the best all-time tight end in Michigan history. I don't think there is any arguing about that, even close. So the best tight end just said that Colston Loveland's probably going to be better than he was at Michigan, um, which is great. That's awesome here, but I agree 100%. He should come in, and I think he's going to dominate. I think he'll be like a Greg Kittle, Travis Kelsey type player, as long as he can stay healthy. I don't see why he can't. The dude is an absolute freak, freak in nature. So that's my pick on the offensive side. On the defensive side now, I could go a few ways. I could go the easy way and kind of go with like a Will Johnson or something like that, but I'm not. I think Braden McGregor. Braden McGregor is going to be a problem this season. I think I could be completely wrong, but I've thought this since the first time I seen him on the field. Braden McGregor, he reminds me, and he looks like, and reminds me of Aiden Hutchinson. I'm not saying he's going to be as good as Aiden. He very well could be, but that's who he reminds me of. The way he plays, the way he stands, just his whole demeanor. So I picked Braden McGregor. I think Braden McGregor is going to be an absolute problem on the offensive side to the opposite team's offense. Like an Aiden Hutchinson was, and I think this is going to be a good year, guys. I'm excited. Like I said, we both had it. I have 45-3. He had it 52-10. Hang on here. This is 45 10 52. No, 45-3. It was 52-10. So, guys, I'm just excited. I think everyone here is. I'm about to enjoy a nice. Finally, I use football season as back to whiskey season, guys. Whiskey season, in my opinion, is back once football starts. So there'll be some good old whiskey drinking going on, guys. We're going after another one of these right here. I want a third one hanging up right next to it next year, right next to it. Michigan football is back, guys. So we'll move on. Final segment, guys. I know it's a quick show. Week 1 pick'ems. Last week in week 0, you see down there is the standings. I'm beating him 5-2 to 4-3. But there could be a big change up depending on how this weekend goes for one of us. Um, First game, guys, that we're gonna go with. Y'all can chime in the chat if you want. Um, and also, guys, real quick, if y'all ever want to come on and do pick'ems, please let me know. I will 100% have y'all on to do pick'ems, like a college game day special guest thing. I will be so happy um, to do that. It'll be a great time. Just reach out to me on my reach out to us on Twitter, Facebook, wherever. Um, Hit me up my personal accounts, uh, and we'll get that set up. So looking here, guys. So the first game of the day, um, that I have written down is going to be that Virginia versus number 12 Tennessee game. I'm gonna bite on Tennessee. I did take Tennessee. It's so hard to not to pick Tennessee for me, but I have to because I'm fine. I trust them to beat Virginia football team. Um, I don't think Tennessee's going to be anything that hot this year, but I trust them into beating a Virginia team. But I feel like I shouldn't, and that's what Ben picked too. Ben did pick Tennessee, so I do have his picks too. So we both picked Tennessee there. Next one, Coach Prime. Coach Prime is back and is coaching FBS football. And Colorado versus TCU today at noon. Um, Ben has TCU. Um, and guys, I think Coach Prime's NCAA FBS um, premiere is going to be a rude awakening to big boy college football, like how he used to play. And I think Colorado loses that game to TCU by at least double digits. I don't think you can turn a program around that fast, but I don't think you can. So we both got TCU. Next one is quick one: Ohio State versus at Indiana. I have Ohio State. We both have Ohio State. I think that's pretty obvious that they should beat Indiana. If not, Buckeye fans, next one: Boise State, the Blue Field versus number 10 Washington in Washington. Um, we both picked Washington. Next one, Utah State versus number 25 Iowa. Um, Cade McNamara, Eric Hall starting their seasons over there. Um, I got Iowa. Ben has Iowa. I don't really have any explanation there. Could be a close game. Honestly, it could. Utah State and Iowa. It depends on how good Iowa's offense looks with Cade McNamara in there. Next one, Buffalo versus number 19 Wisconsin. It'll be Luke Fickell's Big Ten debut as a head coach, a legit head coach. I got Wisconsin. Ben has Wisconsin. That's not a game I don't think that should be close. I know it's a MAC school, but I think Wisconsin's going to be good this year. Next spot is going to be Alcorn State versus Southern Mississippi. Um, just because Southern Miss is like the school closest to me down here. That's what kind of the reason why I did that. Guys, I'm going to do USM. I'm taking USM to win in their home opener against Alcorn State uh, by at least 2 scores. Next one could be a good game here. A MAC school versus a Big Ten school. Toledo versus Illinois. I'm going to pull a call and upset, even though Toledo is the MAC defending champ. I don't. It would still be an upset. I think. I don't know what the line is for it. Um, I'm taking Toledo. Ben is taking Illinois. Um, and then we get into our big games tonight. And guys, the first one we'll go over is that whiteout game, West Virginia versus Penn State in Happy Valley. I just don't think Penn State loses in that game this early in the season. I think they're going to come out ready to play against West Virginia, and I think Penn State takes that one. And so does Ben. Ben takes that also. Um, Last but not least, the Battle of the Carolinas tonight. It's going to be North Carolina, number 21, versus South Carolina. I think Drake May and North Carolina is a great football team. I think they will be a great football team, but I think Spencer Rattler in South Carolina, they came on late last season. I think South Carolina takes that football game um, over North Carolina, and Ben took North Carolina. So there's 3 games. There's 3 games we don't both agree on who's going to win. So could shake up the rankings a little bit coming into next week. But guys, like I said, I'm so happy Michigan football is back. Cannot be any more happier. Man, hope you all enjoy the rest of your weekend. Let's watch some football. Let's go blue. That's all we care about, guys. Is Michigan football being back, and we're almost there. We are almost there. I cannot wait for it to be back. And guys, have a great weekend. And guys, y'all remember, go blue and BVC, you guys. We'll be back for our wrap-up show either Sunday, I think Sunday or Monday. I have to double check. We'll let y'all know on Twitter and Facebook. As always, guys, go blue.